And the goose came out last.
Let that be a lesson to us all. Cook your food properly.
Now, Rydale Folk Museum is known and loved by us all, but did you know that they involve many local schools in some of the most cutting-edge student projects in the world? Their recent award-winning film, Heather and Maple, for example. Well, here to bring us up to date on what they're doing right now in Hutley Hole
Let me interrupt you there, Paula Bear. We are receiving breaking news of the Esk whaling ship in trouble. We're being told the Esk, captained by Rydale's William Scoresby Jr., son of William Scoresby Sr., is trapped in ice 50 miles west of Spitsbergen. Spitsbergen, of course, east of Greenland. We believe the Esk was on her way home after leaving Whitby Harbour on the 29th of March 1816, some 191 years ago.
I can now exclusively reveal that Coral Reef and our very own Malton film crew are on their way back in time directly to the scene. We will bring you the pictures as soon as we get them. We are now going to go live to Whitby Harbour, where I'm being told Dolly Finn is with some people who were actually alive at the time.
Thank you, Paula and Davy. I'm here with one of the owners of the Esk, Mr. Fishburn, and alongside him is Malton's own mariner, Mr. William Stockwell. Mr. Fishburn, if I could come to you first, as part owner of the Esk, what are your thoughts on these unfolding events?
Well, I'm concerned. There's a lot at stake, not only the ship and the cargo, but the lives of the men on board. William Scoresby is a good captain, just like his father before him. I just hope the men can get home safe.
Well, what about their safety? Are they in great danger?
They could be in great danger, stuck in the ice, miles from land and home, and if the ship is badly damaged, who knows what could happen. That's what we'll be praying for. It may be weeks or months before the ice gives them back to us, and then they still have to sail home.
Indeed. Thank you, Mr. Fishburn. I think it's fair to say we'll all be praying for them. Mr. Stockwell, what have you to say to our viewers desperate for news?
Pray for our boys. They're in good hands with Mr. Scoresby leading them. If the ship is stuck, they'll do well to unload the cargo onto the ice in order to float it up. That way they'll be able to get a good look underneath to see if there's any damage to the ship's hull.
And what immediate dangers are they in?
They could fall into the water and die as easy as you blink your eye. There'll be madness setting in for too long.
Thank you, Mr. Stockwell. You seem to know a lot about this. Would you mind explaining how, please?
Well, as you ask, I write a book a few years from now based on my time as a whaler. That goes on to be used as research in this film, along with Scoresby's own accounts and much more from Panic Park in Whitby, where you can have a very good day out.
So that means then that you know what happens to Scoresby in the Esk? Well, don't tell us, you'll spoil the film. And with that, I hand back to you in the studio.
Thank you for that, Dolly Finn.
Now, as you know, we are bringing this breaking news to you live from almost 200 years ago.
I'm being told that the Esk crew are out to unload the cargo, and with more news on that now, here's Paula.
Thanks for that, Davy Jones. We understand that the Esk is damaged and that Scoresby and his crew are unloading the cargo onto the very ice that traps them. Our main concern here in the studio, and I'm sure for you at home, is the 50 men and boys on board from Rydale, Whitby and Shetland.
Of course, there are those who feel Scoresby and others like him should not be out at sea in the first place, killing whales.
In Scoresby's time, whaling was sustaining whole communities all over the world, and our very own Whitby Harbour owes much of its heritage to the great mammal. Although admired and feared by the whalers, they felt the whale was a resource put on the planet for them to harvest, hence the phrase they became known as the farmers of the sea. During the years of 1750 and 1830, some 25,000 seals, 55 polar bears and nearly 3,000 whales were brought home to Whitby. Whalebone was of course used in corsets and other fashionable items, but it was primarily for oil that the whales were killed, used for lighting and oiling the wheels of industry as Industrial Revolution took hold. Now, what do you suppose the whales think of all this? Well, here to tell us just that is William Tell, who for fear of being attacked has asked to remain anonymous. Her voice will also be disguised. William Tell, we're all aware of the moral and ethical questions that whaling presents us with, but please tell us, if you can, what's it actually like to be a whale?
It's great apart from you lot. We swim and eat, have a baby every 3 or 4 years, and, well, swim and eat.
And what is it about us lot that spoils your idyllic existence?
Well, it's mostly the killing. Being harpooned many times and then dragged until we drown is horrible. We're lucky if we drown. The flinching takes place if we're dead or not. I've seen 4 of my children die this way. What chance do we have against your exploding harpoons and electronic tracking devices? None at all. I've brought some animations with me that the little whales have made. Would you like to see them? Oh, good. Roll the animations, please.
Searching Quick, get the harpoons. Two are coming out for some breath. I saw a big blow.
Get the harpoons. Everyone, hurry!
Here, Captain. The harpoons. Steady, steady, fire! We did it, Captain. Not quite. We need lots more to deal with this one. Quick, get the load.
The whole entire load, sir. Load them up. They're trying to get away.
Fire!
No! They're diving down!
That can't be. We shot it with one of our sharpest harpoons.
The other whale is saving it and pushing it under. I guess we should have shot them both. Arr! Care for some fish and chips?
How are we going to escape? I don't know. Let's try diving down.
I can't. They've shot me with a harpoon.
Try and slip out of it.
I can't. It's stuck in. What shall I do?
Just tug for the last time.
Okay, it's worked. I'm free.
Okay, let's go and dive to the bottom of the ocean.
I can't. I'm too weak. You go without me.
Why?
Just go.
Do you need any help?
Yes, they've shot me with a harpoon.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
I'm going to push you to the bottom of the ocean.
Yes, we're down in the bottom of the ocean. You saved me. Thank you very much.
It's okay, got to go now. Bye, I hope I see you again.
Bye.
You're safe.
I know.
Let's go.
Okay.
Well, what about the nature of things, Mrs. Tell? You're at the top of the aquatic food chain with nothing hunting you. Surely, we the humans, at the top of the global food chain, we're free to hunt anything we like.
No, you've no right. You're taking too much. You're killing too many. You've wiped out and continue to wipe out entire species with the same rights as you to exist. I've brought some shots from my family album as well. Have a look at this. What we don't understand is why. You have everything you need to sustain yourselves and live well, but you can't seem to use it wisely, and you shoot and kill anything you like. Look, that's my great-granddaughter.
Why do you think it is that man feels the need to do such things?
Yes, why do you think that is?
I personally think you just don't know how lucky you are. If it was taken away, you'd cope without it, but if it's there, you just kill it and then create demand for it. I'll tell you what, and I want you to take this to your hearts. If you could hear and understand the screams you make us cry, you would stop.
Thank you, William Tell. Whaling, of course, started many years ago. Earliest records go back as far as the 12th century, and it continues for various reasons up to today.
Now, have we gone too far? Here is a short selection of interviews, talks and debates on this very subject with, amongst others, local respected historians Arthur Credland and John Rushton, and I for the International Fund for Animal Welfare, to enlighten you on the state of whaling today.
One of the difficulties of history is shrugging off what you know, shrugging off the modern world and getting back behind it to what life was like in those times. The times 1760 to 1820, somewhere in there, of the whaling era. Well, Ryedale, even Ryedale was different. Farming was the great lifeblood of the area here. And you had good and bad years. In the really bad years, there was dearth. That means there was nothing here. We're talking about people struggling for survival because the population's beginning to rise. The villages have more people in them than they could employ. So they're leaving here to find better work or a better rate of pay. In the middle of this came another little development, whaling here. The sea was already drawing people from villages, and there's people at Huttonley Hole and Middleton and all over joined in the whaling adventure. Adventure, a word that had a bit of a different meaning in those days, and adventure was a way of venturing some money to make more. Money. So there's two ways in which the inland area got involved in whaling. One is going as mariners, the other is financing them. And some did very well. How did the Piper family make their money? In whaling. 1775, they joined with a number of other local people and bought a ship. Earlier, Nicholas Piper had traded round the Baltic. So he was doing quite nicely as the master of a ship. 1775, he and his partners, they mint money. You've got to put a lot of money into converting a ship, copper bottom maybe, strengthening the beams and all the rest of it against the ice. And you've got to equip it. It could take several £100s to get the voyage started here. High risk, but they made the money here. York Courant, 1803. There are these ships crossing the North York Bores back from a voyage. The vessel Resolution, Captain Scoresby, and the vessel Henrietta, Captain Kearsley, both of which belong to our friend Nicholas Piper, back from Greenland, the former with 460 butts of blubber. Blubber. That's what it's all about, blubber. Profit, £2,000. This was one heck of an industry. This was a big source of materials which could give Whitby and Scarborough street lighting. The oil used for street lighting for the first time here. Whitby, a place for a certain kind of opportunity.
The typical whaling voyage in the 19th century was you set off usually in March in the spring and you came back usually in the October. And this was a vast distance to cover, a round trip of 5,000 plus miles, all done in quite a tiny vessel. The actual hunting was done from this 30-foot rowing boat that were launched from the mothership with these very basic tools, the hand harpoon and the lance to kill the beast. This is a typical hand harpoon. It's iron, of course, about 2.5 feet long, and that would be on the end of a long pole, 6 or 7 feet long. And you simply launched it at the whale from the rowing boat and hope it stuck fast. Getting up close to a big beast like that, 50 or 60 feet long, it only needed one great thrash of its big tail and your boat was smashed into smithereens. These were powerful, strong beasts, so that it took a lot to tire them out, and then it took a lot of killing. It might take the best part of a day to pursue the whale and finish it off. I mean, nowadays we think about the cruelty and the sheer agony that the beast must have gone through, but that was the only technology available to man at the time to capture the whale. And the whale, of course, was important because it was providing some very important raw materials. The blubber, the fat that accumulated underneath the skin, was extracted by man and boiled down. The oil extracted, it was used for turning into soap, lamp fuel, various industrial processes. So it was very important material. Apart from the actual problems of encountering these gigantic beasts and trying to deal with them and kill them and process them, of course you've got the problems of the weather. You've got to work your way through these narrow channels in the pack ice until you find open water in which to actually hunt the whale. There was a constant danger that your ship was going to be caught in the ice and trapped, resulting in terrible privations for the crew. Inevitably, they ran short of provisions. They simply had to stick it out the best they could.
This is what the RSPCA's considered view is on whaling in the 21st century. The RSPCA is concerned that some anti-whaling governments are losing sight of the pivotal reason to oppose whaling, and that is it's inherently cruel. Its slaughter methods with such inadequate welfare provisions were proposed for other animals killed commercially for their meat, there would be international uproar. Whales cannot be killed humanely, therefore they should not be killed at all. In 2007, Japan, Norway and Iceland have given self-awarded quotas to kill over 2,500 great whales using exploding harpoons and rifles. The exploding grenades is an entirely unsatisfactory killing method that has the potential to cause severe and prolonged suffering. It should be banned. The last data presented to the International Whaling Commission in 2002 reported that whales take up to 1.5 hours to die. As a nation, the UK should be unable to endorse any commercially motivated industry seeking to derive profit from this inherently and unacceptable inhumane practice of whaling.
And what do you exactly do?
We do loads and loads of different things in our jobs to try and raise awareness about the issue of whaling and why we think it's important that people should care about it and why they should do something about it, because we think it's really cruel.
What benefits do they get from actually doing the whaling?
One of the reasons is these countries think it's their right. They say that they've had a tradition of whaling. Obviously the UK used to be a whaling country, but we stopped a long time ago, so we don't kind of remember and think of it as part of our tradition, but tradition is very important. In the past, if you ask an Icelander if they're for or against whaling, they would see that as being, are you for or against Iceland?
You mentioned this is a tradition which has occurred for hundreds of years. Why do you feel as Brits that you should interfere?
It's not British people going to Iceland saying, this is bad, this is wrong, you should stop. It's us sort of providing information actually produced by Icelanders to other Icelanders. So we want them to come to the right decision and not for us to be telling them what to do. Yeah. But the really good thing in Iceland now is that lots of Icelanders are really questioning the decision. There's a definite change and they're thinking why we're going whaling because it's damaging. Are the disadvantages outweighing the advantages for us of pushing ahead with this tradition?
Do they make necklaces out of it and things?
No, in the old days they used to use all different parts of the whale for all sorts of different things, like for cosmetics and clothing and the oil they used to use. But now there's loads of alternatives to that, so the only thing they use is the meat.
Is whaling essential to the economies of the most famous whaling countries?
A lot of people are confused why Japan, Norway and Iceland would go whaling. The meat isn't selling. In actual fact, Japan has almost 5,000 tonnes of unsold whale meat. They're actually spending more money going out, killing the whales, cutting them up and putting them in freezers, and then they're spending a lot of money on marketing, whereas we can say you're making lots and lots of money from tourists coming to go whale watching on your boats, but if you're whaling that will put people off. So we're showing them that there's an alternative which will be beneficial for them as well as for whales.
Will whales become extinct soon if we carry on the current rate of whaling?
In the past, there were lots of whales of most species. It's quite telling that all the really big species of whales were the ones people wanted to kill. So it's the big whales often now that are the species that have either been driven to extinction or on the verge of extinction. So if we don't learn at all from history, pretty soon we'll end up with more species being extinct as well, and we think it's important to protect them.
If the world was voting for whaling to be stopped, what side do you think will win?
There is actually a worldwide moratorium to ban on whaling since 1986. I don't know if any of you watched the TV about a year and a half ago when the Thames whale came to London. Yeah. Hundreds of thousands of people turned out in London that day. There was just a huge outpouring of sympathy. And most people that go whale watching find it such an amazing experience that it would definitely persuade them. I think that they preferred seeing whales alive than dead. So I would say that the majority of people would support whale conservation and not whaling.
Those kids know how to talk, and it shows how aware of the plight of the whales they are. Perhaps we've all got a lot to learn.
A lot, indeed, to learn. We have.
I'm going to have to interrupt you there, as we can now go live to Coral Reef, who is on the Esk.
Our apologies there for the loss of signal. We'll return to the Esk as soon as we can.
So, who were the Scoresbys and where were they from? We're joined now, as if by magic, by the ghost of the entrepreneur Nicholas Piper, Pickering's own whaling captain and whaling ship owner, who of course died in 1810, 6 years before this story broke, and before that was one of the first to see the potential in the Scoresby family. Nicholas, you're there at Panet Park Museum in Whitby, where I've heard it's a good day out. Tell me, who exactly were the Scoresbys and where were they from?
Have you ever heard of the crow's nest? Well, William Scoresby Sr. invented it, and his son, William Scoresby Jr., was one of the most able scientific minds that ever put to sea. One of the most highly regarded captains too. Just like his father. Legends, both of them. They were known as Greenlanders, or the farmers of the sea, and they sailed from right here in Whitby, with Rydell blood flowing through their veins. Now, times were hard in Scoresby Sr.'s day, and in his youth, he was a farmer, just like his dad. But it was not the life of a farmer for him. So, aged just 19, this talented and ambitious young man put down his plough and picked up a harpoon. Aboard a ship called Jane, he served his apprenticeship, and in the winter after his maiden voyage, he returned to his father's farm. There he studied hard his new profession, and as soon as spring leapt into the air, he was off to sea again to improve the methods of the day, and improve them he did. He devised better, quicker and safer ways to deploy the harpoon boats from the ships. He also navigated courses that no other ever could. What? He got through the ice to open water by looking at the sky. He would gaze at the heavens, looking for patches of light barely visible at all. Pools in the sky that were nothing more than the light reflecting from the water beyond. Open water for the ship to head towards, and of course where whales would be surfacing too. When they found themselves stuck in the ice, he got all the crew to run from port to starboard and back again, to shake free the ship. Ingenious. At the age of 25, he was second officer of the Henrietta, which was my ship, by the way. On the advice of the retiring Captain Crispin Bean, I took a gamble and appointed him captain at the age of 30. The crew on the ship didn't like it, and it was damn near a mutiny. So, for his next voyage, he picked the crew himself. A lot of them Rydell lads he knew and he could trust. And it worked. Their first voyage brought home 18 whales, which was by far the biggest catch Whitby had seen. In the 30-something voyages to sea that he made, he brought back 533 whales. More than anybody else in Europe. And who came along to continue the Rydell legend? His son. William Scoresby Jr. first sailed with his father to Greenland when he was not a dozen years old. At 16 he was chief mate, and at 21 the youngest captain on a whaling ship. This very remarkable man had the skills of an artist and the mind of a scientist. In his lifetime he mapped the east coast of Greenland, as well as surveying the geology and wildlife of more islands and coastlines. He even drew the snowflakes he saw. He recorded meticulous descriptions of every whale that was caught, and sometimes found the time to sketch them in anatomical detail. His book, An Account of the Arctic Regions, forms a landmark in Arctic studies, even today. But now he's trapped in the ice. These are testing times for him, make no mistake. It's a lot of fun making films about dead people, but just you remember that a lot of men and boys died on these trips. Too many to count. Some died trying to catch the big fish, with, apart from a harpoon and a small boat, their bare hands. The whale is a clever fish, and don't none of you be thinking otherwise. In my day, I'd say it was a fair fight between us, but I've heard tell it's a little bit different in yours. Junior is close to losing the Esk. There is a hole in her side 17 feet long. She's taking on water too quickly. The pumps are all on full watch, and the men near exhaustion. They failed so far to fix the keel, which is near broken off. And if they lose it to the depths of icy water below, the ship may follow, and who knows how many men. It wouldn't be the first time. It's a time to pray to God, as all family of Greenlanders would do. Mr. Scoresby's family are no exception, as he himself is a devoutly religious man. So, I'll say goodbye to you, and good luck to them.
Nicholas Piper, thank you for your appearance and wise words from beyond the grave. In a moment, we're going to return live, ladies and gentlemen, to the Esk. But first, we're going directly to Rydale to our reporter Penny Quinn, who's exclusively with the wife and family of the carpenter on board the Esk.
Yes, and we're being told it has just started to rain there.
Thank you for that, Paula and Davy. I'm here in Rydale itself with Mrs. Richard Slightholme, wife of a carpenter on the Esk. For up to 6 months of a year, she is a single mum. Mrs. Slightholme, how are you coping with the news of the Esk?
I'm very, very worried about him out there. We all are, really. Most of the men are from Rydale, so we're just sort of praying that they'll get back safely. Yeah.
What provoked your husband to go into the fishing trade?
We've had a bad summer, so we've had a bad harvest, so there's not a lot of food and money around, so they've just gone to tie us over for next year.
Mum, I want some butter.
In there, darling,
Mum, can I have some salt?
In a minute, dear, in a minute. You see, I'm busy.
What drives them to do it, and what precautions do they take?
Well, it takes a brave man to be a fisherman, seeing as most of them are usually just farmers and they're not used to it. I can think of at least 3 ships this year that have been damaged. You've got the Mary Frances, North Britain and the Lord Braham. So we're just worried that they're going to come back. I'm very confident that they will. So we just sing our love for them in the churches. Winter we've had, it's a blessing really that he goes because we can't afford to keep him. The Greenlanders, that's the men that go on the ship, have a thing called boiling the kettle, which is where we know that they're being paid and fed by the owners of the ships.
3 huzzahs! Huzzah! Huzzah! Huzzah!
So I tell you, it's a relief really when they go, when they're on board and they're on way to Greenland, because we know that they're away and safe from the press gangs.
Yeah. And what do you think your husband will be doing right now?
Well, he'll probably be 6 feet in water, trying to fix some part of the boat.
I'm busy!
How do you feel about the many superstitions circulating in the whaling trade?
Well, I just hope that they've caught sight of a polar bear, because that's supposed to be lucky, you know. Look, I'm talking of superstitions. They've got the maypole. We had a brilliant May Day last year. I'm sure that my husband and all the other crew members are celebrating it just as well as we did.
Mrs. Slightholme, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us. Our thoughts are with you and all the families at this very unsettling time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Right, back to you at the studio. This is Penny Quinn for the Rydale Roundup.
A fascinating insight there into the world of the Rydale Greenlanders families. We can now go back live to the Esk.
Yes, let's now go live back to the Esk, which is of course stranded 50 miles from the coast of Spitsbergen in the almost unchartable Arctic seas.
Thank you, Paula and Davy. I'm Coral Reef, Penny Quinn's more attractive twin. I'm on board the Esk and it's freezing here with Captain Scoresby Jr. Captain, can you bring us up to date with the ship's condition?
Well, we're quite badly damaged, enough so I don't think we can get home alone.
What exactly happened leading up to this terrific event?
Well, we set off late March as usual.
Which year is this?
1816, and everything was going to plan till early June. the ship became movable in some thick ice.
Gosh, how did you manage?
Well, we got through it. These men are tough, and the ship is tough. But now, as you can see, we're trapped again, but this time more serious. We're laden in a mighty horde of fish, and we're already set off on our way home.
You mean whales?
Yes, that's what I said. Fish.
No, but they're not fish, they're whales.
No, the fish.
I'm freezing.
Well, we are in the Arctic. It has been the coldest I've ever seen.
In 2007, where I'm from, there are great debates about the ethics of whaling. What are your thoughts in 1816?
Well, whaling is no more or less our bread and butter. We're humbly religious people and we believe that God sent us the fish. Without these fish, we'd have nothing. Land has forsaken us back in Whitby. Without these fish, we'd starve. Scientifically, these are the most remarkable and beautiful creatures. Please take a look at my drawings and sketches and see great details about them. I study them every moment I can, the habits, the rituals, the skin and the brain. I do a lot more than kill them, you know. And for each fish, every Greenlander among these lands, they pray to God to thank them for sending the whales to us.
So you actually care for the fish? I mean, whales. Fish.
Well, fish. Of course we do. I mean, even though my father and I have made great fortunes, other men depend on these to live. I mean, you look in generations to come, I'm sure there'll be reminders of whale bones maybe on rooftops or even back gardens of people's homes in North Yorkshire.
That's so true. My best friend's mum has got huge whale bones in her garden.
Well, there you go.
Of course, your father is a well-respected man of science and navigation also. Was it he that led you into this life?
Well, my father was indeed a great man, one of the best in Yorkshire. As read in people's books, one day I even aim to name a fjord, maybe the world's best, after him, and I'll call it the Scoresby Sund.
And what's next for the Esk and your crew, Captain?
Well, we need to get home and we need help, so I'm sure we'll be bartering with our cargo for a tow home.
And finally, would you like to send a message back to your family in Rydale?
Well, tell Eliza not to worry, I'm doing the best I can, and put the kettle on because I'll be home soon.
Hello, my name's Grace Eel. Myself and my crew have followed behind our other correspondent, Coral Reef, to reach the Esk, which is still stranded here in the ice. I'm sitting here in Scoresby's private library with one of the brave members of the crew. Please tell us your name and what you do on board the Esk.
I am Mr. Richard Slightholme and I'm a ship's carpenter.
What's happened to the Esk?
Well, we thought we would get out of the ice safely, but no. The ship hit a sharp piece of ice 12 foot under the water. I think the Greenlanders call it a tongue.
And what's the damage, do you think?
Well, there's a 17-foot hole in the bottom of the ship, and the rudder is damaged.
So, what did you do?
Well, we did nothing for the first hour because we didn't know it was there. Though, when I noticed it, I think there was 8.5 feet of water in the hold.
And what did you do then?
Well, it was all hands to the pumps. The captain sent out a distress signal, and as we speak, captains from nearby ships are meeting with Captain Scoresby. But, as we're still taking in water, and the pumps can't cope, I think it's likely they're going to tell him to abandon ship.
Do you think you will have to?
I hope this is not the case. I have every faith in Scoresby to get our ship home, even if it means I have to work 12 hours a day, up to my waist in water, patching her up along the way.
Thank you, Mr. Slightholme. Exciting times here aboard the Esk. We hope this has informed you about the current situation of the ship, and rest assured, we will give you further details as soon as we get them.
Trust your friends when you're troubled, and then when you need them, whenever you see them. Trust your friends when you're troubled, then when you need them.
We can now confirm that the Esk and her full crew, after being helped all the way to the Shetland Isles by the John of Greenock, are arriving as we speak at Whitby Harbour, where friends and family eagerly await their return.
You look cold, take my blanket. Not long till we're home now, everybody keep hope, yeah? Hope.
After an epic 4-month voyage that took place in the year 1816 to capture whales in the Arctic Ocean, which has seen them trapped in ice and the Esk severely damaged and left at the mercy of God. So, there you have it. A day in the life of a Greenlander, brought to you by the sixth form historians of Malton School and Terrington, Gillamore and Kirby Moorside Primary Schools as part of their history project on whaling in Rydale.
We hope you have enjoyed our film and join us again next time, live.
We leave you now with the joyous scenes of the Esk and William Scoresby Jr. I'm Paula Bear.
And I'm David Jones.
Goodbye.
I did a little wink.
Boys, we're home!
We're here with Mr. Slightum, who has just arrived safely home after the voyage on the Esk. Mr. Slightum, how does it feel to be home?
I just couldn't wait to be back with my lovely family.
And family, how does it feel to have Dad home?
Good. How was the voyage, Mr. Slightum?
Treacherous, but I was repairing leaks all the time. Just every time we repaired one, another one came up. It was a horrible business to fix.
It sounds like you were very brave. How did you and the men stick together during the voyage?
We sang songs and mainly we prayed, but it was the thought of our lovely families that just kept us going.
Mrs. Slightum, how does it feel to have your husband finally back home with you?
Oh, I'm so happy. I've been so worried, so it's just brilliant to have him back with us and we can start getting on with our lives again.
Thank you all for joining us. So, happy times again here in Rydale. My name's Grace Eel for the Rydale Roundup.